more, so welcome to Takes Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's items only, the investment I'm going to talk today would be Ethereum ticker ETH. So it's my second posting as of today. Respective recording time of 12:33 p.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $3,588, up about 0.21% so far. Respect to the overall crypto market, on the stable coin side of the world, seems like it's still kind of trade on a sideways fashion, relatively flat, levitating in between levels, for respectively for Ethereum between the 3,850 and the $3,475 level. So with respect to the news on the Ethereum specifically, I would say the news are relatively the same. It's been relatively inactive this morning. I think, the news should subsequently be coming a little bit later. On the media front, there isn't anything that's specifically driving the market dynamics at the moment, beside the ones that were mentioned this morning. Seems like the reporters are trying to squeeze it in, basically ahead of this Saturday weekend. I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, it definitely, a lot of overnight news are coming out from respective media outsources. So let's just go straight into the technicals. There isn't really any news that's worth mentioning. A lot of some news that came out 2-3 hours ago talk about why Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin rose this week, but this is more just a reminding news, so nothing really substantive. We've already been talking about it, so it's no need to regurgitating, if you may, right? So Ethereum again, right? We're basically ping-ponging between the levels at the moment. I would say this is more of aerodynamic ping pong ball. It seems like there is some magnetic force that's pushing or pulling at the moment between the 3,850 versus the 3,472. So we are just basically, there is a lack of substance with respect to the current level right now. We are overbought at a 61 of 70, so this is not the most ideal level if you want to buy at the current level right now. But if you want to buy now, just be my guest, go ahead. But it's not the perfect level, right? Because we're ultimately kind of overbought right now, right? So Bitcoin, I would say, is quite comparable if you look at it from way back. We basically try to reach the next level of the, again, right, the 57,750, which is the next level of technical resistance. So right now we are basically, again, comparable to Ethereum, levitating in air right now. And on top of the fact that we are more than overbought with 71.11 out of 70, at the same time, the chart is really, really dragged up right now. So it's either we have another bullish news, which I don't see any coming at the moment. It's already halfway through the day already. To get to the next level of technical of basically 60,000, 59,650. So that's a relatively large surge. That's another $5,000 of surge upcoming, right? We know that we've been searching for quite some time now, ever since the golden cross that we've formed per our technical analysis. So we knew that the bullishness was coming. So that's why I was recommending people to be buying at the 43, which I have not changed the chart so far, but ideally at the 40, 37, 34, because we are within the market cycles that we've been talking about, more of the anger and depression stage. And I think it's a necessary momentum for us to, basically restart the cycle to get us back to hope, optimism, and then, go up from there to euphoria to hit, close to $10,000 for Ethereum and respectively for Bitcoin at the 6 digits mark, which we are aiming for going forward, right? So right now, I don't think it's a great idea to buy now because we're overbought, unless you want to be buying things on premium at the moment. But if you think long-term wise, it's still relatively a discount if you believe in the long-term vision, right? So Dogecoin, we are having a lag effect still. We're at the 56 of 70. We are, let's zoom in a little bit, right? So right now, we are curving down a little bit. So you definitely want to be cautious with respect to how we trending at the moment, because of the fact that, unless there's specific news that's going to be pushing Dogecoin, but I think what we're seeing right now is basically Dogecoin following the rest of the stablecoin. There isn't any substantive news that's talking about Dogecoin beside the fact that they're talking about what have happened with Dogecoin, so that's technically not new news, right? I'm trying to say, and these are relatively stale news at the same time. So I think the in terms of like any more surge coming, I think relatively not. Unless you want to really gamble, next level technically you have to go up to would be the 30, right? And that's 6 cents from here, which is relatively massive, right? So I would probably hold off and wait until the RSI cools down first because we are relatively high right now, and it's a curvature forming right now as well. Cardano kind of doing the same thing as well. We are the relatively, I think the surge is imminent because of the fact that we're still at the 50 out of 70 and we just formed a golden cross, but we haven't seen any surge yet. It's been kind of static as well. And I think altcoin typically are, a little bit delayed, respectively. So we want to, I think, if you had to choose, I think Cardano would probably be a better option for you to dollar cost average at the moment. But again, right, the better level would be anywhere like the $2 or like the 210 at the bare minimum, right? And then on Solana, it seems like we are just oscillating in a sideways fashion. Seems like the head and shoulders slowly forming. And it seems like we just formed a def cross recently. If you look at it, you see that the yellow line just crossed down against the blue line very minimally, right? But I don't think it's gonna be a huge crash though, or a huge correction because we are at the 54 out of 70, so we're neutral level. So I think technically if we're gonna sell back down, we're gonna sell back down to the 125 first. Ideally, if you want to deplete to the 30 something level on the RSI scale, you need to hit the 110 at the bare minimum. But for me, if I'm building my position first time and I, knowing the fact that we are in a relatively different market cycle, I think more ideally for me, and I don't have that fear of missing out effect at all, that I think 66 would be more of a, better, more palatable level that I would be buying at. So that's the level I personally feel more comfortable at. And then XRP again resurging, right? Try to get to the next level of 130. So I would not recommend buying at the moment right now, despite it's still relatively bullish. We are at the 64. I think because of the fact that the risk versus reward ratio in terms of the next leap up is relatively of a stretch, right? Obviously, it looks like a stretch already, and the chart is saying so. So I'll probably hold off for now, right? For Polkadot, I would say Polkadot is at 61 out of 70 right now. So the next level leap up will technically be going back up to the all-time high again, to the 38.77 per the technicals. So right now, I think that should do it. By the time we get there, we might even reach all-time high, or about to reach all-time high and then sell back down because we're at the 61 right now. Again, we are in the head and shoulder pattern. So if this does not reach above all-time high, that means this head and shoulder pattern is confirmed, and it's going to be a massive sell-off from there. And this is kind of like a more of a warning sign that that's very possible. Where you saw that flash crash that happened and immediately people bought in. That seems like a whale manipulations from there, which is something that I frankly am not that comfortable with. Now, with respect to market cycles, I think we are in the non-obvious, anger and depression stage. We're gonna see these type of like as you and angry, you are hitting the bottom and you see a surge like, oh, we're back to normal, right? And then you're gonna see like consecutive days of just like oscillations in a downward fashion. And if you compare the two with respect to like Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think it's quite comparable how it looks like right now. So something to be mindful of. The next thing you know, you could probably see a big red candle, which I don't appreciate. And again, I'm not really a bearish person. I'm just reading what the chart is telling me. I want to be saying that, oh, it's the perfect setup. Like RSI is really depleted right now. We are about to form a golden cross. That would be a perfect sweet spot to buy it right now. You know what I'm trying to say? But I'm not trying to like influence people or tell people how I feel because I think it's bullish. I'm telling you what the chart is saying. So it's important that you understand that specific caveat, right? So with respect to the level that I would personally buy at, again, would be 3,150 to 3,750, 2,450. And the 12 months price target, 9,800. And also with respect to other cryptos, these are the levels we've identified so far. So feel free, let me shift my head, sorry. For your reference. These are for your reference for the respective cryptocurrencies that we've talked about so far. So really appreciate you for dropping by again on this Saturday afternoon or morning or night, depending on where you are. So I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna spend a day with my family, get lunch, and it's a relatively cool day today in New York, but dry at the same time. So it's a good day to be walking around the city. So really appreciate you, and feel free to give me a shout if you have any specific questions, and stay tuned for the come up. Take care. Bye.